Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Modern Horizons 3 draft. I want to give a huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast for giving me a free preview account in this early access event so I can get this recorded for you early. But we're going to be diving in. If you do enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. One of the fun things about an event like this is we get to be in a pod with Gabriel Nassif, who's like a Hall of Famer, a bunch of other Magic the Gathering content creators. Maybe you see one you recognize. But anyway, yeah, I already have a draft guide made for this set. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can find that on my channel already. Top commons, archetype overviews, that sort of thing. Detective's Phoenix is a nice little card, 3-mana 2/2 flyer haste. And once your graveyard is got a couple things in it, you can bestow it, which means it can come back really effectively. I think this card is definitely worth first picking. I think Mindless Conscription is also pretty sweet. You get to draw some cards, make a 3/3, or just grow your 3/3. This card's not particularly great in draft. It's basically a 4-mana 4/4 because there's not a lot of X spells running around here. Buried Alive, basically unplayable. This card's really niche. I think in the commons, I like Serum Visionary and Inspired Inventor. Both of these are good. Evolution Witness can also be nice. So there's a lot of good cards in this pack. I think I go Detective's Phoenix, followed by maybe the Inventor, then the Serum Visionary, and then the Witness maybe. The two colored cards I like to steer clear of at the beginning of drafts, just because I want to get a little bit more flexibility. This card. When this or another creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, it's really funny because there's like so many weird mechanics. I'm not sure how this interacts with Detective's Phoenix. Like, does this count? It's an aura spell. So it's not a creature when I cast it from my graveyard. Good to know. Grist is basically a 1-mana 1/2 in draft unless you can get something fancy going on. 1/2 Death Touch, I mean, which is pretty okay, but nothing too crazy. I think Bespoke Battle Wagon is really good. Like, I've been impressed by that card. I also really like Reckless Pyro Surfer, and I already have a Detective's Phoenix, so I might just take this card and just be a little bit more flexible with my early picks. I think Pyro Surfer is probably similar to the Bespoke Battle Wagon, maybe less important. But Repurposer is also solid, but I'm going to just take the Pyro Surfer to stick with my red card because there's no reason to like vary my colors too much there. Even though I can totally still abandon them, it's just a little bit of extra flexibility. Here, there's a nice gold card here. The red cards I'm not super thrilled with. I think they're both medium. This card's not great. This card's not great. Hex Gold Slith can be a really nice aggressive threat. Refurbished Familiar seems really nice in the black decks, like the black-red artifacts specifically. I already have red cards. Maybe I could wheel some of these artifacts to go with the Refurbished Familiar. So I think I'm going to take the Familiar over like Demon Inferior, which I think is a reasonable card. I could also take Mindless Conscription. I think Mindless Conscription might be a little bit better in a vacuum, but only like really a blue-black card because that's the deck that really cares about drawing cards. So I think I'm just going to take the Familiar and try that out. For now, at least. We aren't any way committed to black-red. I say that I don't like taking multicolored cards, and it's true. But this card, every time I've seen it in play, has been an absolute beating. Like, just a massacre of a card. You get so many blockers. You can chump sack to make your guy bigger. You can ramp. It's terrifying. This card's also reasonable. This card's okay. So these red cards are fine. But we're just going to slam the Writhing Chrysalis, I think. That Heralds the End is just a little hard to cast sometimes, but still reasonable. We're going to take the Chrysalis. We're not committed to red-green, but I think it's worth taking there. And now we can take Kozilek's Unsealing. This card has been, like, borderline unfair when I've seen it. I don't know. You just get a couple of tokens. It plays really well. Like, you can play a Teamer deck with Writhing Chrysalis. The Tumblewag's pretty nice. Just a huge creature. Like, this card is just sizable. It is a sizable creature. It can attack as a 6/6 trample on turn 5. Like, terrifying. We're just going to take the Kozilek's Unsealing. Just a high upside card. And now we get another Writhing Chrysalis. I'm pretty happy with this. I think one thing we could do is just play red-green, and then Reckless Pyro Surfer actually plays great in red-green because you can buff up your little spawn tokens, and you can also save up some of these lands that you'll want in your deck for colorless mana, and then use them all at once for Reckless Pyro Surfer turns where you hit with like a bunch of big things. I do also think Proud Pack Rhino is great, but we're just going to keep taking Chrysalises, and I think that we will be pretty happy. I forget what I took this over, but I think we'll just maybe splash the Kozilek's Unsealing in a red-green deck. Oh my gosh! You're killing me, Smalls. I mean, this card would be great in my deck. I would totally take it. But this card is perfect. I've got 2 Chrysalises, and when you just Chrysalis into this card, it's just like unbeatable almost. You just get so many stats. Just turning those spawns, huge. The Detective Phoenix is still great here for me. At this point, I don't think I can be moved off of my red-green deck. Also, I second picked this card. I think it's good. Like, I don't know. It trades with a lot of stuff, but you can like set up some really scary stuff with it. This card's pretty reasonable. Foul Strike is pretty reasonable, just as a combat trick. But I think Pyrosurfer plays really nicely with these like spawn tokens. Like, you just can get 2 land drops in a turn. Sometimes you can even get 3 in a turn if you save up your like Evolving Wilds type lands, and that's like pretty scary. And I think this card's really sweet as a result. And if we get some big Eldrazi, I mean, we might just splash this just for the making of the extra spawns. Making 2 spawns is like no joke. Like, you play this and then you play this and you're just like, well, I have 5 creatures in play. It also plays great with the Vanguard. Refurbished Familiar is a little bit of a miss so far. I forget what I took it over. It definitely wasn't a red card because I was trying to stay flexible. And it was 3rd pick. I'm pretty sure I took it over an uncommon. And maybe it was a blue uncommon. Well, here we're going to take, I think, the Hunger Tide Rises or Infernal Captor or Siege Smash. I don't think we want Roshin. We already have 2 4-drops. Milling 6 cards is decent for us, though, because of the Detective's Phoenix. I think Hunger Tide Rises is going to be a little bit better for us, potentially. And then we get this land, which is perfect for us. I will take the Molten Gatekeeper now. That's going to make a lot of tokens for us. Or do a lot of damage. Unfathomable Truths, Null. I don't think we want this. We're not going to main deck it, and this is best of 1. I don't like this card. So I think if we're going to maybe splash, we could splash Unfathomable Truths, potentially, if we really wanted to. Oh, I think I took the Familiar over another black card, now that I think about it. I think I took it over the 3-mana black card. This card is really, really good. I really like this one. You basically put this on your big guy, and then you just get a couple copies of your big guy for like 2 mana each. So like, you don't get the cast triggers from a Chrysalis type effect, but you get to like put this on your guy, play a land, and then if you have like any fetch lands lying around, you can get extra triggers. And then you basically just get to go like, yeah, I'll make like 2 copies of it at this turn, which is just really good. And if they don't kill it, you make even more. So here we're probably just playing red-green, and then we're potentially splashing blue for this card if we get some 7-drops. We don't want to play this without 7-drops because you really want the upside of being able to get stuff, but just it's like really, really nice. And maybe we'll get some lands like that to be colorless sources, but the fetch lands are really good in our deck now because we have the 2 Pyrosurfers and the Springheart Nantuko. The Hunger Tide Rises could be interesting. We get to search and put something directly into play. So depending on how our game shakes out, we could like get a Reckless Pyrosurfer if we even play this card. I don't think this card's very good. Detective Phoenix is sweet. Ooh. So Branching Evolution is normally straight trash. Like, you just can't put this card in your deck. But it's actually hilarious with this card. Or Titan's Vanguard, honestly. So, like, if this wheels, I would consider playing it, but I'm not going to take it over Galvanic Discharge, which is just so efficient, so necessary for our deck. We actually have a couple cards that I'd love to wheel. I think Warped Tusker is really good when you have Kozilek's Unsealing, because it's like a card that you can cycle early and then cast with Kozilek's Unsealing to draw 3 cards, which is really what you want. You want like a few targets for your Kozilek's Unsealing to draw the 3 cards with a 7 mana or greater. But Galvanic Discharge is just so efficient, keeps you from falling behind early. It's really essential. So this card, I mean, this card's not going to wheel, but it's fantastic. And then this card would also be sweet, but pretty happy with the Galvanic Discharge here. Okay, another Kozilek's Unsealing. Fangs of Colonia. Fangs of Colonia is also really sweet with all of the Eldrazi spawns running around. I also really like Sundering Eruption because most of the time you'll play it as a land, but like the times where it's a spell, you like win the game with it. So that's pretty nice. Nyxborn Hydra is a little bit weaker, but I'll just take this card. Now that I have 2 copies of it, I can really build around it. And also just like, it's so good with these Chrysalis things. I think Fangs of Colonia would also be interesting. There's a lot of good options here, but since it's still early pack 2, I think giving myself some options is good. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it. I mean, triple colorless is really hard. Giving my guy haste seems really good for Titan's Vanguard. I really don't think this card's great. Because you just struggle to cast the spells that turn. Move counters around. This thing's kind of sweet. It's just so hard to cast. And the land is just going to help me out. Okay, Signature Slam has to be the pick here. I would love a land, but I'm not a psychopath. I also think Nightshade Dryad would be great here, so there's a lot of good cards for me here. And then Bountiful Landscape would be the absolute perfect land. But like Signature Slam is really, really quality removal. So like, it does suck that I don't get this guy, but that's okay. I can always just not play the Kozilek's Unsealing. I did take the second Kozilek's Unsealing over like some pretty good cards. But I think I have time. And I have been impressed by this card. So this is red-blue. Perfect. Actually, I might just take Drownyard Lurker. Gets me a 7-drop. I don't know where my threshold's going. I think I was going to take the lands first, though. Get the blue sources set up before I even consider trying to go too fancy. So this can get red or green, which is helpful. There's also a Brushwag. Because I do want to have good mana. This card's pretty great. I think I might take this. Or the Elk. The Elk is pretty good with the spawn token. Green, blue, nice. Always look for like the 2 that you want. So like I can get green a lot of the time or I can get blue. This card's great and probably shouldn't wheel. Yes, we wheeled this guy. I was really hoping to wheel this guy. This is the reason I didn't take the other 7-drop. And we wheeled Sundering Eruption. That just shouldn't happen, I don't think. This card's great. Because it's a land. It's a land that can win you the game sometimes. And we got the Twisted Landscape back. Like, passing a red card isn't the best, but like getting a red-green land for my deck that is going to try to splash blue is pretty great. Oh my gosh, what a killer pack. I mean, this card I can't play, so we're not even going to really focus on this one. But Laelia, the Blade Reforged, and another Springheart Nantuko. I think Laelia's probably better. Just cast this on turn 3 and almost like win the game. It's like really good. When a card is put into exile. I already have a Springheart Nantuko, not that that makes it worse or better. It's just Laelia's really, really good. I'm going to take Laelia. It's pretty excellent. I have a lot of cheap spells or cheap-ish spells that I can cast with it. And I think it's going to be good for me. This card's fantastic. I'm glad I'm splashing blue because I am really excited to put this card in my deck. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability, so mine or opponents, I can either ramp or draw, and it can trigger twice a turn. So if they try to kill my stuff or things like that. Or if I use like Signature Slam or whatever. So this is like an energy card. This is like a draw spell. I think Wooded Foothills. It's cutesy with Springheart Nantuko, but this is red-white. This is red-blue. Deep Analysis. I don't really want to splash any more than the 3 really good cards that I already am splashing. And I feel like I have enough playables. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands here, so I will have to get some more playables, but I can always splash this blue card. I think a second Wooded Foothills isn't super necessary. Yeah, I'll just take the Wooded Foothills. It's probably better to have a land that comes in untapped. Beautiful. I get this. Actually, oh my gosh, this card's really good. Also, this card's excellent, but I do want to have more colorless spells to go with the Kozilek's Unsealing. The time that when I realized when my opponent cast this against me that it counts your lands, you gain so much life. So I really want to try this. I think this card's also great. This card's also great, but I just want to get some an attempt at trying this card. I really don't like the fact that it is so hard to cast, though. Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't think the card's very good. It's just hard to cast. Imagine if I wield this one. I'm going to take this thing now. Actually, I'm going to take Horrific Assault and hope to wield this guy. I think this card's like not the best. I don't think other people are really interested in it, and Horrific Assault is really good. My removal count is currently Galvanic Discharge, Signature Slam. So having another removal spell is important. Kozilek's Unsealing isn't looking great in my deck. Like, if it's a 3-mana draw 3 at some point in the game, it's great. I might as well take this. It's a tap land, but I'm playing red. And at points in the game, I can use it to draw a bunch of cards. Definitely going to take this one. This is the perfect card. 8-drop. Fits with my blue splash. And now I get a red-blue. I wouldn't mind this card. Late white cards coming around. I think I'd rather have green-blue. I already have 2 of the red-green one. Sure. Sink into Stupor is even more niche because double blue is hard for me to get, but like, it's a land. I actually will play this guy. He makes me 2 1/1s. That's worth it. Okay. So I'm playing pretty much all of the cards I have. Also with Sink into Stupor, this card. Okay, so this is land. I'm going to be cutting some lands, I think. I don't think I need the Hunger Tide Rises. I just don't think this card's very good. Demon Inferior is fine. Unfathomable Truth is fine. Okay, so my mana count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 lands. That's too many lands. I think I can get away with 19 mana sources in this deck. Especially because all 4 of these are basically lands. So I think I kind of want to play 18 in the deck. As long as I have enough fetchable sources. So I've got... I think this card's good with giving haste. I think 3 big guys to trigger my Kozilek's Unsealings is good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue sources. 1, 2. How many red cards do I have? 12. I'm mostly red. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 red sources. And then for green, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green sources. So 9 green sources, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources, 8, 9 blue sources. Yep, I think this build is good. You might think I don't have a lot of fetchable lands. It's like 3, 5, 8 fetchable lands and like 11 fetches, but these fetch lands can also be played as spells. I mean, as lands themselves, so that's pretty good to know. It is a little bit of a bummer that none of these are my like tricolor lands, so I can't actually ever not like cycle them. So what do I cut? Do I have any double red spells? I do have double red spells. I might have to cut a fetch land, which is kind of funny. Or like a spell land. Double blue's pretty hard. And I definitely want to keep 2 red sources there and 2 green sources there. Yeah. So I cut one of each of my sources, and I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yep, 18 mana seems okay here. 2 of each keeps things simple with this Arena of Glory as an extra. And yeah, I think this deck is good. I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'll see you folks in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to take a moment to shout out the NicolaiBolas Patreon, where you can go to support the channel. Patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you have been enjoying my videos, if you've been finding them entertaining, helpful, if they've been helping you have more fun playing Magic and helping you win more, or things like that, then Patreon is the place to go where you can contribute directly towards the channel and help me make more videos going forward. You also gain access to cool bonus content like my card-by-card draft tier list for Modern Horizons 3 and every other draft set that comes out, where I give my A through F grades on every card in the set as a nice bonus resource, as one of the ways I like to say thank you. Basically, Patreon is the place to go if you want to chip in and help the channel grow and thrive. I would like to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It really does make a big difference. But without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round 1. On the draw, without a third land, this hand is sketchy, especially because I'm lacking red mana. But I do have this combo. I have to mulligan that. I think I have to keep this even though it's bad. I'm gonna just ditch this. This card with this is really good synergy. Okay. I think I'm going to get green because then I can cycle this. I can't actually play this untapped. Blue's great though. Oh, it makes a cheering sound? That's so sweet. Sure. So Lelia would have been good if they didn't have a 3/3 to block with. I think you want to get the first hit in free. And especially if you play it when you already have when you have a land drop to give, it can help me take for a land potentially. A little bit unfortunate on that front. I do love a galvanic discharge. Looks like they're potentially going to hold back on defense here. Or not. They could attack me still. They're attacking. Okay. So emerging, that doesn't work for me. Oh my gosh, Sundering Eruption. Sundering Eruption just wins me the game here. Assuming I'm not dead here. Which seems unlikely. Lelia is sick! Yes! Got the win. I mean, Lelia getting some hits in is pretty devastating. Whoa! I've played enough in the early access event to rank up to silver. Huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast for the free preview account. I know I already said it, but always worth saying again. It's pretty awesome to get to play in these events. Time just flies by. I've been drafting all day, having a blast, learning about the cards. And so far, so good. I wonder if I was supposed to gear this deck as more of a beatdown deck. I just don't have the 2-drop support, I don't think, to make this a beatdown deck. But I think I can do some really powerful things in the mid-game. Ho-ho! I'm against Martin Juza. Martin Juza. Not Juza. Martin Juza. One of the best drafters ever. Okay, dokie. Keep this. Gonna get a forest. I mean a mountain. Remember, I am limited on my fetchable sources. Sure, Ether Spike. I was certainly going to cast it, no matter what. I don't know whether he has counter magic. That's like one card in the set. I'll save my fetch land if I can. Because if I get to like play a Writhing Chrysalis and then double landfall, it's pretty good for me. I could have attacked there. I just didn't think it was good. So now I can play Springheart and Tuco. Blue-red might struggle. I feel like blue-red struggles against Writhing Chrysalis. Okay, sure, they can make a 3-3 if they want. Hmm. I don't get a chance to respond to this, but I think that's okay. I'd rather have the mana around. And also the creatures for my Reckless Pyro Surfer. I really want to just copy the Writhing Chrysalis with this. But I could also just get a bunch of energy. Hmm. So if they don't kill the Pyro Surfer, I'm going to win. So that's pretty much established. Sure. Sure. Next turn I can play both these cards. This will make 2 more spawns. It's funny because my Wooded Foothills now no longer gets a card if I sack this. But I will. Okay, whenever they get an energy, deals that much damage to any target. Okay. That's kind of scary. but only if they had a permanent leave battlefield in their turn. Well, that's just peachy. So I'm going to do this first. And then I can cast this, just hard casting. Or I could get rid of this guy. Then I wouldn't be able to cast this guy anyway. Gotta be said, I got messed up by my clock winding down there. I'm not sure if it was... Woo! That was awesome. Kozilek's unsealing did so much work there. I had so many 0-1s. Oh my gosh. This guy also did a bunch of work just making 1-1s. I'm glad I know how that works now. But yeah, that was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was excellent. I guess I didn't need to cast the 3/4 flyer. I could have cast just my giant guy maybe, which would have maybe been better. I think I said this already, but I'm going to be playing 5 rounds with this deck because that way I get to maximize getting to see all the cards in action, but also getting to try a bunch of different decks in the early access event. And I feel like 5 rounds is a good metric. That way you get to see whether it's a winning record or not. It might even be 1 round too many, so some of my draft videos from this event might be only 4 rounds, I think. But for now, 5 feels like a good, solid number. And I'll tweak it as seems fitting. Okay, easy keep. The fetch lands and fetchable sources thing is pretty funny. Okay, I can get blue mana here. Like, the fact that I only have 6 fetchable lands and, like, way more than that in fetch lands is really funny. Okay, I definitely want to get this thing down on turn 3. And then this is on turn 4. So I think I am just going to take this nice and slow. Because this into this is so powerful that then this followed by a fetch land is even better. Especially because I have fetch lands to spare. Get a forest. That's going to be fantastic. This card's actually going to do so much work. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's kind of the sort of thing where if I was in a different spot, it might be doing more work, but having only 1 red mana is slightly limiting here. I might want to. Do I want to just play Molten Gatekeeper and have it die? And be able to fetch up a second red source? I think so. Actually, no, it's just better to play the Chrysalis. Because then with the Pyro Surfer, I get so much damage in next turn. Because I get to go Pyro Surfer, crack land, crack land, and then it buffs all these up by +3/+0. Even though the Dream, deal 5. Okay. I think I'll ditch that guy. Okay, so now I need to search my fetch it. So I've gotten... That's my only other way to get blue, so I can get blue with this. Okay, I've actually played all my ways to get red too, maybe. This is an attack for a lot of damage. So, still don't have a lot of mana value in my graveyard. But next turn, go this into this. Sure. Into this even now. I can bestow. Sure. So if I draw another red source, I can do it all. Not that I have a lot of red sources. Oh, that's pretty good. If they play this thing, I can bounce it now. Yep. I mean, this being a land and spell is really nice here. Okay. So that's pretty decent if I did want that. I think what I want to do is just play this. They go to 6. Bounce their guy and win. That seems like a good line to me. Nikolai just like casually like, okay, there's different lines available to me here. And then I realized that one of them won and I was like, oh, this one just wins. That's how it goes sometimes. Wow. Just look at that. It could have been a land. Imagine if that had been an island. Though to be fair, I did cut one of them because I needed to have enough lands to fetch because my deck is a crazy pile of cards. But that was so much better than a land would have been. It was a bounce spell that won me the game. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. Everything is so awesome right now. I mean, this is just so much fun getting to play these cards. It feels like the games are very intense on decisions. There's a lot of complex mechanics running around, lots of cards to like examine, read, figure out. The like sequencing really matters. There's a lot of tokens you can like choose to chump block with or not chump block with. Oh my gosh. So we're playing against Reed Duke now. That's fantastic. Let's get a win. Okay. This is my worst hand yet. I don't have any green mana. I will keep it though, I think. It's so sketchy, but you know. It's better than mulliganing, I think. It's so borderline. I wonder why they cut off his name halfway through. It's normally Reader Rabbit. This could be a grindier game. Trying to set up this plus this. Just get some extra 5/5s. I could also just do this plus this. Get some extra 3/2 flyers. This card is really good. I'm mostly looking for forests in this hand. This is going to get blue mana. I have some card draw. If I do draw forest, I could even consider the risky line of this emerging this. Maybe then try to copy. Kind of tough to do, but I'm probably going to end up trying to copy the Thriving Skyclaw. Oh. He's on the play. This is not what I wanted to face. A bit too aggressive for my blood here. But at least I'm going to be able to play a 3-2 on turn 4. This was definitely a borderline hand. And it might not work out. If this was one of my different fetch lands, then it would be way better. Oh, I'm so dead. I am so dead. Oh, man. To be fair, my deck is kind of clunky, and this start is pretty good against me no matter what, but maybe he's going to be missing on colors or something. Because this does really reduce his pressure when he can't. Well, now if I draw a colorless land, I can get this guy going. I don't have the colorless mana to emerge this. Yep. Yeah, that's a bummer. Dang it. Well, it was a sketchy hand. It was my worst hand of the draft for sure. I just wish I'd had it against somebody else because beating Reed Duke is fun. Oh well. It's funny because if I had just drawn a one of my colorless fetch lands there, then I wouldn't be able to cast my guy and tap down both of his attackers and then maybe try to set something up. But what ended up being wrong was that I had Perilous Landscape instead of Wooded Foothills and then Wooded Foothills instead of Perilous Landscape. If those had been flipped, I think I could have done something. I just couldn't cast my spells. Oh well. That's the risk of keeping that hand. That hand was definitely slow, and then he had 1-drop into 2-drop Mentor creature, which is just like the most punishing way possible. Anyway, we'll battle back for the final round. But yeah, that was tough. Ugh. You can't win them all, though. This hand is pretty great. We have all of our colors this time. We have a Lelia on turn 3. Like, this is the hand where if I'd had this against Reed Duke, I think I would have won the game. Because his hand wasn't, like, doing anything crazy, and my deck has some really crazy stuff it can do. But yeah, that is the risk of playing a 3-color deck. It's sometimes, every so often, you don't get there. I think this card is horrifically bad, so I must prove that by beating this card. I think they might be color screwed in some capacity. I'm just doing this because it's the most mana efficient way. Put it second from the top. Sure. Okay. Laylee is a pretty decent, like, end of situation card. Oh my gosh, they're gonna name Eldrazi. People aren't realizing that this is insane for me. I get to cast this guy for 2 mana. Oh my gosh. Okay. What? What the heck happened? Well, well, well. We will definitely not try to suicide that guy in right now. So they might play a big Eldrazi here. I'm terrified. I'm quaking in my boots. He's got such a huge guy. Sure. Make your 6/8. My Writhing Chrysalis is bigger than that. Oh my gosh. And I even have the double landfall. Okay, well, we're going to be sacrificing a bunch of these, so. Actually, we're going to sacrifice 3, 4. I can get up to 8 and then Horrific Assault this guy. Yeah, I wish I could undo that now. Because 6 guys getting double landfall triggers. Usually would have attacked him for 12. So I'm out of fetchable lands. Maybe I did this in the wrong order. Because I think I only had to sacrifice one thing. And they take 8 here. This is actually pretty crazy. This bestow's actually going to be so clutch here. Watch this. At least I think this is how this works. So it becomes a 3/3, so then it dies, and then the bestow comes back to my control. Oh. Yeah. Oh, for a second it just sat there confused on their side of the battlefield. They were like, this guy's like, excuse me, sir? This is an Arby's or whatever that meme is. Oh my gosh. They're actually getting some use out of this incubator. I don't really have that much more going on for me. Oh my gosh, I forgot that this is a 4-drop creature and one of the reasons I put it in my deck. So they're in permanent chump block mode on this Writhing Chrysalis. I guess they'd rather deal with one big creature. I'm surprised they're basically letting me eat their 6/8, but I guess they're terrified of me playing another land. But now, like, all my attackers are online. Gosh, double Kozilek's Unsealing. It's a frog. Oh, that's such a funny card. This card is terrible, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, we can do that now, but there's no longer any landfall incentive. This doesn't have reach, right? Should have checked that before, but... Why? Okay. Oh, right, because they can just make endless jump blockers for this guy. Yeah, that's the thing. Give her 8/8. They're in top deck mode. Can they deal with my flyer? No, they cannot. Good game. Got there. 4-1. We only lost that one round, but we had some sweet times. Woo! Nice victory. Wow. That was some Eldrazi action. That was really cool. As I said, 5 rounds, 4-1. Nice performance with the deck, but that is going to do it for this draft. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. And to let me know you made it all the way till the end of the video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag unsealed, because we did some crazy stuff with unsealing. And we had the Writhing Chrysalis. And yeah, leave hashtag unsealed to let me know you made it all the way till the end of the video. Unsealed is also a fancy name for draft because it's not sealed. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Huge shout out again to Wizards of the Coast for giving me a free preview account in the early access event so I could get this recorded for you early. But that is going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.